What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade coming to y'all with that instant basketball analysis live on Analysis Playground exclusively on YouTube, playoff edition, because the Minnesota Timberwolves, a team that was winning in this game until that 15 run in that third quarter, and it just opened it up, and they just never was able to fully get back in the game. And SGA came alive and put them jump shots on them and them and ones on them. And his teammates like Chet Fetch Holmgren and Alex Caruso and those guys were able to knock down open shots and make some good plays to assist him on getting a victory over a much needed team that is hard to beat for them. And the Timberwolves, matchup wise, it made sense. Like I said, they had so many wings that they can throw at Shea. SGA was having some trouble scoring on JD McDaniels, had some trouble on Nikhil. He had to speed it up and find his pace, find his shot, find his rhythm. Blessingly enough, he was able to do that before the end of the game, and that was something that was very impressive to see. He's the MVP to me. I picked him before the season even started to be MVP based on where he left off last year, and I feel like they was going to have a lot of success based off their roster to be able to be the number one team in the NBA, which they ended up being this year. And now they're in the conference finals. I picked them every single round to win, including this one, because the Minnesota Timberwolves, they just don't have enough offense. They just don't have enough guys that can make shots. If you get them shots, maybe, but the Thunder not going to let them get open enough. We know that the Thunder defense is stifling. They're going to turn you over. They're going to play the passing lanes, and they're going to rotate over because they're so young, so athletic, and so mobile that you don't really have a window to get a good look after you get the pass, because they're going to be right in front of you. And if you try to put the ball in on the floor to be able to dribble, they're going to stay in front of you and force you to pass it to somebody else that can create a shot. But they only really have Conley, and you can say Anthony Edwards and Julius Randle that can get the ball and create a shot for themselves and other. That's just not enough to break the Oklahoma City Thunder defense, and that's why they didn't even score 90 points, I believe, in this game, which is unfortunate because you felt that you had a good shot because of the regular season to be able to have a great series against the Thunder, and then you get blown out, and it looks like you was closer than you actually were in this game because you was doing a lot of things right, and the game was going at your pace and your tempo, and you was able to dictate a lot of things. But Julius Randle gonna have the first quarter that he had and the second quarter that he had, that first half that he had, to be exact. Somebody got to help him out. Where was Anthony Edwards? You can't have teams. You got to have 25 to 30. If Julius Randle can do it, I need you to do that too, because they're going to start rotating to me and trying to get the ball out of my hands because I'm the hot guy. Now, who's going to step up and help me help this team win this game? Nobody else was really there in that starting lineup, which was the worst part of the Timberwolves. They was just able to switch and cover so much ground that nobody was able to really do anything outside of Julius Randle. And you can say Anthony Edwards had a good game. You need to have great dominant games against a Western Conference opponent like the Thunder, and they held him in check, in my personal opinion. But if you didn't know, the Thunder won the game 114-88, and they ended up, the Timberwolves did win in the first quarter 23-20. And then they won the second quarter 25-24. Like I said, the Thunder really opened it up in the third quarter, and they won it 32-18. That's when the game was lost. But they followed that up with a clinching fourth quarter, the most important quarter, because that's the quarter you get to win the game, even if you play terrible throughout the game. If you play well in that quarter, you can still steal it. But the Thunder made sure that didn't happen. They handled their business. They took care of the holding the ball and making good decisions, and guys stepped up, and they won it 38-22 in that fourth quarter. And it was just embarrassing at that point. But I would give Julius Randle a lot of credit. He played like Towns. That was the guy he was replacing. He showed that he can make threes. He can make shots off the dribble or in close by the rim, and he can rebound the ball and play a little defense. And he did that all tonight. 36 minutes played by him, 9 of 13 from the field, 5 of 6 from three, 5 of 6 from the free throw line. He ended up leading the team with 28 points. He did get 8 rebounds, and 4 of them was offensive with an assist and a steal. The problem that he had was just having 5 turnovers. He kept making things look a little bit too obvious and didn't put enough power sometimes in his movements, and it ended up being a little bit predictable for him. He also had 3 personal fouls. That's okay. That's not terrible. but he was a minus 17 and plus minus. That was probably the worst thing to see. Jaden McDaniels, he was doing the best he could, but fouled out. Offensively, he had some good looks and he made them, but he didn't take that many shots because he didn't play that much minutes that he would be playing if he didn't get in foul trouble. So he played 24 minutes and he went 3 of 5 from the field, 1 of 3 from the 3-point line. He had 6 rebounds, 1 was offensive with 3 assists, a steal, a block, 3 turnovers. He was a minus 10 and plus minus. He didn't even get in double figures. He only had 7 points tonight, which was something that you didn't see coming, but it's something that definitely can't happen again if they want to win a game in this series, because we know how killer instinct this Oklahoma City Thunder team can be. And if you don't pay attention, they can eliminate you in a sweep like we seen them do Memphis. Rudy Gobert had a terrible possessions, didn't catch the ball right, couldn't finish the right way, couldn't make a free throw. He was 0-2 from the free throw line, 1 of 3 from the field, 21 minutes played for him. 2 points for him also. He had a block, he had a steal, he had a 1 assist, he had 3 rebounds, 1 was offensive. He also had 2 personal fouls. He's a minus 2 plus minus. I didn't really have too much problems with his defense sometimes throughout this game. To be honest, it's just the man can't score. And they kept trying to find ways to involve him, and I don't blame them for doing that. He just couldn't be a factor on the offensive end, and that's going to be a problem because that's another body. Because Naz Reid also, to me, didn't play that great. He went 1 of 11 from the field, 0 of 7 from 3. Some of the threes he's just settled and saying, this is the best shot I can get right now. I'm just going to take it, even if he could have got a better one or could have found his teammate for a better one, even though he did that a little bit throughout the game too with 4 assists. 2 of 2 from the free throw line. He had 8 rebounds, 3 of them was offensive. He also had a block, 3 turnovers, 2 personal fouls. He's a minus 21 plus minus. Naz Reid was a 6-man of the year type of guy. He didn't even give you double figures tonight because he couldn't really make no shots. He gave you 4 points. Other than that, Mike Conley, like I said, he's not going to be the greatest offensive player in this series. As long as he can get you double figures and knock down some threes and make some good passes, you're happy with that. But he only played 23 minutes and he went 2 of 8 from the field, and he went 1 of 5 from 3 and 2 of 2 from the free throw line. He did have 3 rebounds and 3 assists. He also had 1 personal foul. He's a plus 5 and plus minus, and he ended up only having 7 points like Jaden McDaniels. And then Anthony Edwards, disappointing game from him. They did a good job covering him one-on-one and making him dribble, making him not do the shots that he really wants to take. And when he did get them, he did knock most of them down, but he went 5 of 13 from the field, and 37 minutes was the most on the team. He was 3 of 8 from 3, 5 of 7 from the free throw line. He did have 9 rebounds and 3 assists, a block, 4 turnovers, 4 personal fouls. He was a minus 23 and plus minus and finished with 18. Like we said, if they're going to win this series, Anthony Edwards is going to step his game. He's going to have to step his game up. If he can't dominate or take over the game, even in the fourth quarter, I just don't see them winning more than one game. I did pick Oklahoma City to win this series in 5. It's looking like it might be that way because that's just as bad as they was playing tonight. Josh Minot, 2 minutes. He only played that, and he was a guy that only gave you minus 6 and plus minus and 1 personal foul. And then Luka Garza gave you 2 minutes also. He was a minus 6 also, didn't do anything. And then Dante DiVincenzo took a lot of shots, was more than Randall and Anthony Edwards. The only difference is he didn't shoot that many free throws. So it was all field goals, and he was 3 of 14 from the field, and also 3 of 12 from 3. He did get 1 rebound, 2 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, 1 turnover, and 3 personal fouls. He was a minus 20 in plus minus. He ended up having 9 points. He got close to double figures, but really couldn't get it done. He had some good shot selection to me. His shot just wasn't falling tonight, and he was trying to make plays, and he did make some turnovers on the Thunder end happen, and that's something good to see. And he put a little effort to get that block, and you have to love to see that too. But he really was just out there trying to keep the defense as honest as it can be, and it didn't really help the Wolves tonight because he missed majority of his shots. And you can say the same thing about Nickel. These are shots he normally can make, then drop tonight. 28 minutes, 3 of 11 from the field, 2 of 9 from 3, 2 rebounds, 1 was offensive, 2 blocks, minus 14 and plus minus for him, and he only had 8 points. Jalen Clark played 6 minutes. He was 1 of 2 from the field, or 1 from 3, 1 of 2 from the free throw line. He did get 2 boards, but he was just a minus 4 and plus minus with 3 points. I didn't really expect him to do much. He didn't play enough minutes. Same with Terrence Shannon Jr. I knew he was going to play in this series, but of course he's not going to do much. 1 of 2 from the field for him, He ended up getting a -6 and plus minus. He finished with 2 points. And then Rob Dillingham got on the court. He only played 2 minutes. He was 0-1 from the field, missed the only shot that he took and got an assist. He was a -6 and plus minus, finish with 0. 29 of 83, 34% from the field. That's credit to just picking the right spots to be at on the court, communicating and making sure guys got to work for everything they get. And if they're open, make sure it's a difficult shot. And it mainly was threes because they went 15 to 51 from three, and they only shot 29%. That's below average, way below. And that gave them opportunities to get out in transition and get easy points to Thunder, I'm saying. And it just made it even tougher for the Wolves to get into the game because they couldn't make the threes and they couldn't make the twos. So it was just a bad offensive game in that second half for them. The Thunder had a level that they could reach, and they started playing at that level in the second half, and the game was basically over. They did get some free throw opportunities, though, 15 to 21. They didn't really do enough good of a job there because they only finished with 71% from the free throw line as a team. They did get 42 rebounds, with 12 of them being offensive, 18 assists, 5 steals, 7 blocks, 17 turnovers, and 22 personal fouls. And then you look at the Thunder. They played basically everybody besides Jay Will. Other than that, Chet Holmgren did a good job even in the fourth quarter, getting some easy opportunities, rebounding at an okay level, but he did only play 26 minutes. But he was 6 of 9 from the field. I liked all the shots that he took. He also went 1-1 from 3 and 2 of 4 from the free throw line. His free throw shooting definitely is going to have to improve because teams don't mind fouling them and teams don't mind them going to the free throw line. If they see the weakness in you, make you a worse player sometimes, especially against a better team. So that's something that he definitely got to keep working at if he wanted to continue to help this team be a championship contender every year and be able to beat the better teams out there. 15 points, 7 rebounds, 2 was offensive, 3 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks, 1 turnover. He was a +8 and plus minus. I don't think Chet has been getting enough credit for the defender that he has been in this playoff run so far. Good help defender, good rotation defender, very fast, very quick, and really get up in the air and contest, or even don't mind giving hard fouls, so that way you don't get to the so you can get to the free throw line and earn your shots instead of getting a layup or a dunk. I think that's something that he's great at. Jalen Williams, J-Dub, 33 minutes played, 7 to 18 from the field, 1 to 2 from 3, 4 4 from the free throw line. He did ended up getting 19 points, 8 rebounds, one of them being offensive, 5 assists, 5 steals, 2 personal fouls. He was a +13 and plus minus. He was allowing them to hang into the game until they was able to take over the game, and it'd be like that sometimes against quality opponents. But they was patient. They waited their time. They didn't rush. They didn't force a lot of things, and they played within each other. And that's something you have to love about this version of the Thunder. Isaiah Hartenstein, 6 of 8 from the field. He did have 5 rebounds, 1 of was offensive with a steal, 3 turnovers. He did have 4 personal fouls, but he got in double figures with 12, and he did go be a +1 by the end of the game. I love the shots he took, all high percentage shots besides some of the floaters, but he was able to make some of the tough ones too that was further away from the basket than he normally takes. And that was just a good look for him tonight. And he's going to have to continue to play hard, play physical, and battle on those boards when he's out there and try to protect the paint in that middle area as best as he can. Shea was struggling in that first half, but he figured it out by the time the game was over, like a leader supposed to do. He's a franchise player. You got to take the good, the bad, and the ugly with the games because you know they're focusing and locking on making your job hard, frustrating, and difficult. But he answered. But he did go 10 to 27 from the field, which was bad if you're looking at efficiency-wise. 0 of 4 from the three-point line. He was 11 to 14 from the free throw line. The Timberwolves had a lot of success on him tonight, but he never gave up. He never quit, and neither did his teammates. 31 points led everybody from each team. 9 assists, 5 rebounds, 1 of was offensive, 3 steals, 2 turnovers, 1 personal foul. He was a +22 and plus minus. Just made the right plays and the right decisions and the right reads when it was needed. And when he didn't want to score, he was allowing his teammates to do their thing. And they ended up doing it because 4 starters got in double figures tonight, and he was a good help on that. And then Dort, sometimes he get in double figures, sometimes he don't, because it depends on his three-point shooting. He only took 3 of them, but he went 1 of 3 from three-point line. But he also went 2 of 4 from the field, so a good game from him. Outside of, you just want him to be more active. You want him to do a little bit more in the offense if he can. But he had 1 rebound, 2 steals, and a block, and his defense was good instead of fouling a lot, which he did do. you would think that he would try to find a way to hurt them back, but he didn't really do that. He just kept letting whatever was working work. And it was smart at that point because it ended up helping them win the game. If it ain't broken, don't fix it. He got in foul trouble, and instead of doing that, you want him to get back on him on the offensive end. Couldn't really do that, so he let the guys that could do it, and it ended up working out for him. +7 and +/5 points. Dylan Jones, 101 from the field. It was a 3. He got 1 assist. He was a +6 and ± finish with 3 points. Jiang, 2 minutes for him. He was a +6 and ±0s across the board. Other than that, Ken Rich Williams hit some nice threes to keep him ahead. Y'all can stay on the bench. We got this is basically what he was doing. 10 minutes for him, 3 of 3 from the field, 2 of 2 from 3. Great quality minutes from him. 3 rebounds, 1 turnover, 3 personal fouls. He was a +19 in ±. He had 8 points. Alex Caruso was really fantastic defensively, but he also hit all his threes, which he's going to have to continue to do is shoot the 3 ball well because they're going to help off Shea and other guys. So he's got to be ready to let that thing go. And he did that tonight. 3 of 3 from 3, 3 of 4 from the field. He did also have 3 rebounds, 1 turnover, 3 personal fouls, a +10 in ±. He had 9 points. And then Isaiah Joe. He ended up doing good, 1 of 2 from 3 and 4 of 4 from the free throw line. You got to like the fact that when they ran him off the line, he wasn't scared to put it on the floor, which he has already had in his bag anyway. It worked out tonight. But he also did play 13 minutes and grab 8 rebounds. That was fantastic. He did have 1 offensive, 1 assist, 1 personal foul, +11 and ±. He ended up getting 7 points. And then Aaron Wiggins, 1 of 3 from the field. He did have 3 rebounds, 1 of them being offensive with a personal foul. He had 2 points. Cason Wallace, 1 of 3 from the field. It was all 3-pointers, 7 assists, 3 rebounds. 2 of them was offensive. He also had a steal, 3 turnovers, and 2 personal fouls. He was a +21, the highest off the bench, but he only finished with 3 points. Which is crazy considering all the things that he did in those 33 minutes to impact this game at a high level. He really did a good job of keeping that ball moving and finding the right guys when it was needed. And he also rebounded at a decent level too for his position. And he competed defensively. That's all you can ask the man to do. And he did that. And then AJ Mitchell, 2 minutes, 1 assist, +6 and ±. And then they shot 50% from the field by the end of the game, 41 of 82. 11 of 21, 52% from 3. That was really crazy. They didn't settle for the threes, but when they did take them, they was open or they made them because they were just confident that they can do it. 21 of 26, they did shoot 80% from the free throw line. They did also win the rebound battle between both teams, 46 rebounds, 27 assists. They won that battle too. Of course, they was going to win the steals better. They're better turnover team, intercepting team, disruptive team than the Wolves are, even though they're great in their own right. But 13-5 is a blowout. And then the Wolves actually had more blocks, but they had 3. The Thunder did 12 turnovers and 22 personal fouls. I love what the Thunder did. They stayed together and they figured things out. It is just something that they have been able to do at the highest level. And it's going to be tough to beat this team. I got the Thunder winning it all at this point just because they can score so well and they just score so easy because they're not getting threes or getting mid-ranges or layups. They're getting to the free throw line. And if they're not doing that, they're getting out in transition and having a blast. And it's just crazy how simplified they have made the game of basketball, playing it the right way, doing it the right way, and staying together through runs, staying together through failure, and bouncing back and saying that we can do it, we can get it done. And I only say that because they are the youngest team in the league, and they're the number 1 team, and they're in the conference finals with a chance to go to the NBA finals, and they have home court advantage throughout the entire playoffs, and they have one of the best, if not the best, home court in the game, outside of probably Lakers or the Knicks. But they're both eliminated, so they don't even count no more because they ain't even going to be able to have a chance to win the title this year, but the Thunder still do. I'm proud of you, Shea. You had to go through a little bit of a hard area. You had to figure out how to get them shots to fall. You had to figure out a way to execute against the Timberwolves defense to help lead your team to victory. You stayed patient. You stayed with it. You didn't cry. You didn't whine. You went out there and grinded it and gutted it out. I really enjoyed watching you play, and I really enjoyed how you kept your helmet on and kept your thinking cap on top of that and just figured it out on the way. And I love the fact that his teammates came through, was excited, played with a lot of heart, played with a lot of spirit, and they really gave him the backup support that he needed. The biggest problem with the Thunder last year was the others. They just didn't rebound. They just didn't play good enough defense, and they just didn't play hard enough to be able to win last year. We can't really say anything about this version of the team this year. And they have corrected the weaknesses in their team. Now they just have to go out there and play hard and win the next games and be the first in the series to win four. Then they have a chance to do what Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Serge Ibaka, and Kendrick Perkins couldn't do, which is get it done when they get to the finals and be champions. And we'll see if they're able to do that. But the Timberwolves side of it, we did a whole lot of things right, and then we got a whole lot of things wrong by the end of the game. And if we can't put the ball in the basket, we might get blown out every game. The Timberwolves can shoot, they can score, they can play well off each other like the Thunder do. They just have guys that's too streaky. And since the streak can always say, well, you can win 3 games and lose in 7, that's the way you don't want to go about it. And that's why I just don't think the Wolves honestly is going to win enough games in this series to be able to win it. I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be interesting. I think we're going to have close games. But Anthony Edwards not going to step up and play at a 28 to 30 plus game type of level. They ain't going to be able to win nothing. The Thunder are just that good and just that deep. They have Isaiah Joe, Casey Wallace, Aaron Wiggins, Lugans Dort, Jalen Williams, and also Shea Gilgeous-Alexander that they can throw on them and make it tough and make it difficult, and even throw up some traps and some double team and blitz them to give that ball up. If he ain't getting that ball back and putting it in the basket, he's going to have a tough time being able to get through this series with a win. But he knew that it was going to be tough because we all know how hard it is to win in the playoffs and how hard it is being a champion in this league. And even though I got love and respect for Anthony Edwards' game, Shea is just playing at a better level. And Shea was doing what Anthony Edwards should have did, but he understood that. That's why he kept doing and kept adding his mentality and kept playing that way. Because if you're the best player and you as good as you think you are, and you as good as they think you are, because they respect you too as an opponent, you got to go out there and do whatever it takes to get your team a win. And Anthony Edwards just didn't have that instinct to do that. He just was cool. He was just playing within what the team wanted him to do, which is give up the ball and get out the way and let somebody else do a bunch of stuff. And his teammates didn't come through like Shea's did. But Shea also did his part to say, I got to still score. I got to still put pressure on the defense, and that can open up plays that can be there for my teammates. And he kept putting pressure on the rim and putting pressure on them to make decisions, and things opened up for his teammates, and it became a lot easier than what the Timberwolves was getting. And that's a big reason why this game ended up being a blowout. But other than that, comment, like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell for more analysis. And if you're new to the channel, I do conversation videos just like this about NBA only topics. I also do breakdowns with real footage of legends, current legends, rookies, and also future stars. I also do mock drafts and draft coverage, plus so much more. And I got over 3,000 videos that's already on my channel that you can watch and you can enjoy. Not only that, I upload every single day that I'm living. Thank you, God, for that. And I'm going to continue to bless y'all with that analysis that y'all come back to watch. And that's all I can say is hope you guys enjoyed y'all day. Hope you guys are ready to continue to grind down this weekday, and hope you guys are staying positive and keeping the mentality that you need to be able to do it. And hopefully you guys can continue to watch and support the channel to your best of your ability. And thank y'all for appreciating the content for what it is and coming back and enjoying it and loving it for what it is. And I got more things to come, as I promised you guys so many times, because I've been in this for 10 plus years. So let's continue to make 2025 a better year than 2015. That's the only goal of this channel, and I'm looking forward to trying to reach that goal. And we actually are almost halfway through the year, so it should be a fun goal to reach if we do. So let's keep going strong and keep doing your part. Keep doing my part. That's 50-50. Why this channel is still around and doing great, and people loving it and enjoying it for that same reason. Other than that, I'm gone for now. Y'all stay blessed up. Peace out. And like I said, why didn't Jay Will play tonight? I don't know. They probably just didn't feel like he was needed. It's okay because he's going to play throughout this series, and we'll just see what type of game he brings, even though we know what he can do defensively, and we know he can hit a three, and we know that he can make free throws to a certain extent. We know that he's not going to have a huge role or a big impact in this series, but at least he can play and give him some quality minutes as a backup big and try to do whatever he can to help this team stay afloat in games or keep the lead if they already have it, or just make some shots or make some defensive plays to help them get back in it. That's all you can ask a role player to do off the bench. Other than that, I'm gone. See y'all later tomorrow. Hopefully, y'all stay blessed up.